welcome to our Facebook Live series. Today, I am joined here with Alex, and we are going to teach you how to get more clients. So if you're ready to get more clients, give us a like so we know you are here to go, okay? Now, Alex is a professional firefighter with over 11 years of coaching in the fitness industry. So his specialty is coaching first responders. So these are police, fire, medic, and he really focuses on fat loss and transformation training. Alex has a 2-year-old son. And Alex, that was really the reason that you kind of got into the online coaching, right?
Yeah, absolutely. When our son Emerson was born in 2017, I realized that time was becoming a lot more valuable and harder to come by to get more time with my son. So I knew I had to make some changes.
Amazing. And now, any of you that are watching at home, have you been in a similar situation where you felt that you were kind of pressed for time and you would just like to maybe buy back a little bit more time? Now, Alex, so what would you say your number one takeaway has been that you've learned?
As far as online training, I think it's client engagement or engagement with people in general, and just genuinely caring in people's lives. One of the things that's made a huge difference to me is just engaging with people online, Facebook, Instagram, liking and commenting on their posts, and then trying to reach out and just have talks with people. It doesn't even necessarily have to be about training, but just showing people that you're interested in what they're up to, and hopefully in response they're interested in what I'm doing.
Amazing. Now, you've had quite substantial success just simply using this. So could you kind of walk us through, let's say, like when you sit down at your computer, what is your strategy that you have behind actually communicating?
Yep, for sure. So the way that I start that process, I try to keep notes of anything anybody's asked me, whether it's at the gym or at work or just out in social settings. If somebody asks me something related to fitness, nutrition, and I think that I can write something helpful about it, I'll write that down as a note. When I come home, sit down at the computer, I'll put together a graphic on Instagram, or Canva is a website I use for that. And then I'll write a little blurb about it, post it on Instagram, Facebook, and then wait and see if anybody's interested in it. If I get some likes and comments, then I try to reach out to those people who took the time out of their day to like my post, and just touch base with them and see where that goes from there.
Okay, so how long does it take you to make these posts? Like you mentioned Canva. Now, do you use that on your phone or your computer?
Typically, I use it on the computer. I like the interface a little bit better on the computer. Sorry. I like the interface a little bit better on the computer, so that's how I've been doing it. And then I'll just airdrop it over to my phone for the Instagram post.
Okay. Now, let's talk about, have you done one, say, yesterday?
It was either yesterday or the day before.
Okay. Do you remember what topic you did it on?
Pulling it up for you right now.
My next question would be, because I think like a lot of people feel that working on social media takes like hours, right? And you just mentioned a really great point. A lot of people talk about they don't know what to write. They don't know if they're going to get any engagement. So you brought up a really great point of that if you're out communicating with somebody and you hear them mention, that they have a question or something, you actually go home and you create a post specifically to answer that question, right?
Yeah, so exactly. I've found that's the best way for me to get the stuff that people are most interested in, because I find what I might be interested in isn't necessarily what my friends, family, target market's necessarily interested in. So I think just listening to what people want is huge in that perspective.
So now when you do your Instagram graphics, can you kind of describe what you put on them? Is it just words? Do you have pictures?
I've done a little bit of both. Often I'll do something as simple as taking a picture of a meal that I made, and I'll just post a picture of the meal, a recipe on how to make it, maybe some breakdown of the macronutrients, and then I'll call people out and say, "Hey, give this a try. Let me know if you tried it. What did you think?" And then just from asking people, "What did you think? Did you try it?" I get the responses from them. "Hey, I tried that recipe that you recommended last week. It was great. Thanks for that." Things like that.
Okay, very cool. Now, how long would you say that it actually takes you from the time you start creating the graphic to the time that you've actually finished up and posted it?
I would say if I have a detailed list of what I want to make and I'm not just trying to brainstorm on the spot, probably about a half hour to find a graphic that I like, filter it or make any adjustments to it, put some text on it, and then write a blurb that I'm happy with to go along with that on social media. Probably about a half hour.
Okay, well, that's really not that bad when you think about it.
No, not at all.
So once you post it, do you use do you post the same thing on Instagram and Facebook?
I have been, yes.
Okay. Now, is there a specific time that you find works best that you get the most engagement?
I've been playing around with that idea. When is my target market, or when are people most engaged? I think for me, it's honestly been the posts. Some posts are successful, some posts haven't been successful. I haven't found a huge difference as to when I posted necessarily, other than obviously if it's really late or really early in the morning. I find because of the market that I'm in, with a lot of first responders, a lot of us are working shift work, so we're on the computer and on the phones at unusual times of day as it is.
Very true. So now, would you say when you post, do you use any hashtags on Instagram or anything?
Yeah, for sure. What I've done there is tried to follow a lot of the bigger names in the fitness industry, see what they're posting, and then I take a lot of my hashtags from exactly what they're posting. I mean, if it's working for them, then it's going to work for me.
Absolutely. I don't think you're alone on that. I know that I have definitely done that myself. So now, do you post on, do you have a separate business Facebook page, or do you post your tips and stuff on your personal page?
Right now, I've kept it all personal. I haven't gone the business route. I might eventually. Definitely not saying I wouldn't, but I think at this point I've got enough reach within my group of friends and family, and within their group of friends and family, that I don't really find the need to reach out further than that just yet.
Okay, you've now posted on Instagram and Facebook, and I do want to mention something because I found that this is an important feature on Instagram and on Facebook. You can, if I have the Instagram, it's linked to my Facebook page.
Yeah.
The really cool feature is you can actually get insights to see what time people are on. So, for example, for my target market, I know that people are on mostly between 8 and 9.
Okay.
So that's a really cool feature. So that's when I post my own social media posts because, like you said, it really depends when your target market is online, and you want to get as many eyeballs viewing your great content as possible.
Absolutely.
So now you've put it out there into the world, into the social media world. And then what's next? You said you wait for people to like and interact. What's your next step? What do you do when you see that somebody likes or comments on one of your posts?
I typically give it an hour or two, maybe more. Let some people have time to view it and take it in. After that, I'll if they commented on the post, I'll typically respond to their comment right on the post. If somebody just likes it, then I'll shoot them a message on Facebook Messenger or the Messenger through Instagram. Hey, thanks for liking my post. How are you doing? And just see where the conversation goes. If it leads towards health, nutrition, training, or anything like that I can talk about, that's great. If it doesn't, then it's still great to catch up with some people that you haven't talked to in a long time.
Absolutely.
Hey, real quick, I know you're into this episode, but I wanted to let you know that if you want to get started with online coaching, then I have a free gift for you. It's a free 3-day course, and in it you'll learn the core truths guaranteed to get you online fitness clients. You can register with your email at onlinetrainer.com/intro, or if you're in the United States, simply text PTDC to 444-999. Thanks, now back to the show.
Now, do you track the people that you talk to, or do you kind of just let it happen naturally? Like, do you follow up on the people that you have talked to?
Yeah, I have a list of everybody that I've made contact to through that method. I keep a date of the last time I made contact with them, and I try to touch base with them regularly if they're interested in it. And then that way, if you get X amount of likes on your post, you can go through the list and say, "Oh, I've never touched base with this person specifically," or "I just talked to that person last week, so maybe I'll give it some time before I message them again."
Do you track in Excel, or where do you track?
Google Sheets. Google Sheets I've found the best just because I can open it up on any device anywhere.
Okay. And can you explain kind of what your Google Sheet looks like?
Yeah, it's just last name, first name, last date of contact, and then maybe beside that a little note if I need to make reference, hey, touch base with this person again in a week or 2 weeks, that type of thing. But I mean, typically you can pull up your past conversations with those people and see what you talked about last, anyways. And then I just organize that by last date of contact, and then sometimes I'll go through and see who I haven't talked to in a while and reach out to them.
Amazing. So how would you say, how many clients would you say that you've kind of gotten from these types of interactions?
I would say almost every single one of my clients has been through this.
Wow.
Yeah, honestly. It's maybe sometimes people are already on the fence about it. They're already thinking about it, and that extra little message just pushes them. Hey, I was thinking about you. How you doing? And they're like, oh man. Like I've had people say, oh, you must read minds because I was just thinking about you. And then that's all it took to get the ball rolling.
Amazing. That is absolutely amazing. So would you say that getting clients is easier than what most people think?
It's certainly easier than I thought it would be before I got into this and before I took the Online Trainer Academy.
Absolutely. I think a lot of people, and kind of what Ray and I were talking about yesterday on yesterday's interview, he had mentioned a lot of times we overthink things. Yeah. And we can really focus on keeping things simple. And I think that this really ties in with that because we all have such a huge reach with our social networks. And here you are, we're already all on Facebook and Instagram. So why not use it as part of our own business?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I think we all get stuck with that fear of maybe I'm not ready yet to do this. So you're always looking for something more. But honestly, just putting those first few steps in place it's helped get everything moving along.
Absolutely. Now, why was it so important to you to get more online clients? Because you are a full-time firefighter, and before we came online here, you were talking about how you wanted to kind of buy back your time. So what was that? What have you been able to do now that you have online clients?
Yeah, for sure. So back in 2017, like I said, when my son was born, I was working probably, I don't know, 25 hours a week in the gym, maybe 30 hours a week in the gym on top of my full-time career. You know what gym hours are like. It's early morning, it's late night. It's when my wife really needed me at home the most with her and my son. And now that she's back to work full time and he's in daycare some days, it was causing a huge overlap of when we were all getting to see one another. She would get home from work, I'd be going to the gym to work. I'd be missing a lot of time. So it's not that I'm not working in the gym at all anymore, but I'm certainly able to buy back some of that time in the sense that I don't need to be in the gym as much, because now I can do a lot of it from online training, and that allows me to have him at home with me during the day, and then at nights we can also be together rather than me going to the gym.
So what does that mean to you? Like being able to spend more time with your son?
That's everything, honestly. That's what freedom is. We talk in one of your past interviews, you talked about what your freedom number is. Well, my freedom number is time with family. So that's what the whole goal is about, is being able to trade online training with for more time with my family.
Absolutely. That's amazing. Well, Alex, I want to thank you so much for your time today. And I see we've got some great comments here from some people that are brand new to online training. So they've seen here, Deborah says that she's glad to hear getting clients was either easier than you thought it would be. It sounds like it takes a solid plan and then execution. And I would definitely agree with that. It's a lot easier than what so many of us make it out to be. And I think you've given the people that are watching a lot of really great strategies to be able to implement right away, that they don't really need anything to be able to start implementing those, right?
No, for sure. Just even having, I think most people who get into online training have already got a background in in-person training. So it's taking your life experience and putting it into those social media posts is a huge first step. If a client's ever asked you anything and you had a good answer, a good response for them, they're not the only person wondering that.
That is absolutely true. I find a lot of times, I don't know if you have the same thing. When I'm in the gym, I will get the same thing. I'll have people come over and ask questions. And it's something that I would never even have thought of, right? Because when you're in it for so long, it's part of your life. It's already ingrained. So you don't think of it. But when you have a client, the client brings something up to you, you're like, oh, really? Like I never even, I had a client once that had asked me how to boil an egg. And I was like, whoa, what? Like an egg? I was like, are you serious? She's like, yeah, I've never. And she was around like 56 and she had never boiled an egg before. And it's so important that we recognize that our clients are not where we are. And that is a huge opportunity for us to be able to teach them. So looking through daily interactions and just even, if you're at the gym, if you're at the grocery store, I find when I'm at the grocery store, even looking in people's carts and seeing the choices that people make, there are so many opportunities every single day that we can use as social media essentially posts.
Oh yeah, totally. I couldn't agree with you more. Some of my social media posts, I personally feel like it's the most basic topic that I've never even given a second thought to. But it's honestly what everybody wants to hear and wants to see. It's things like you said that people who aren't in this industry don't think about on a regular basis.
When we forget that we are not our target market.
Right.
We need to be giving our target market what they want. It's so simple. Just like I can't remember what module we talk about surveying our audience. And when you survey your audience, they're literally telling you what they want. So if it's no different when it comes to social media. If you have someone asking you something, they're literally telling you to help them.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Amazing. Well, Alex, I want to thank you so much for taking your time to join us today. And those of you who are watching, we want to thank you as well. Make sure to leave a comment if you enjoyed this. We're here all week and again next week, weekdays from 12:30 till 1. And I can see here that Alex already, not Alex that we're interviewing, but Alex, our head coach here, he's already given away our free book of the day to Mike. So Mike, be sure to send your best mailing address over to the Personal Trainer Development Center so we can get that sent out to you. And I hope you guys all tune in tomorrow for another interview. This was awesome. Alex, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Bye, everyone.